Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Summit. I'm your host for the evening, or the moderator for the evening, Gilo. I'm joined tonight with, we're going to start with ladies first because we got a lady in the house tonight. It's very unusual for us to have a lady in the house, but we do have a lady in our crew. We talked about it a little bit last week, and that's Amber Rodriguez. How are you doing? Welcome to the Wrestling Summit.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Can't complain at all. Then we also got Mr. Main Event, Brian Ward, CEO of Wrestling Realm.
What's going on? Brian H. Waters in the building.
Then we got my main man dressed out his Eagle colors today. I guess he's representing the Eagles, not knowing that they're gonna lose. Anyway, Mr. Mike Johnson, BDSIR CEO. What's going on, Mike?
What's going on, everybody? Don't get mad at me right now, DMV, because y'all teams lost today and very tough games you lost. I support you. I love you now, but y'all lost. But let us win this thing tomorrow. We got you.
Yo, let's start this thing off with a abbreviated show. We know we all want to get to football tonight, but we also love professional wrestling and talk about wrestling. Some of the news that came out this week was that the Undertaker, that's right, the dead man himself, is going back on the road with the WWE. And allegedly, WWE is pulling out all the stops going into Mexico because they don't have any really truly Hispanic stars on the roster. They will put butts in seats in Mexico. So they're going out all going out, pulling out all the stops. They're bringing in Chris Jericho. They're bringing in the Undertaker. These big names down in Mexico to try to take WWE to another level and to get the crowd out in Mexico City. Your thoughts on the Undertaker doing house shows, Mr. Main Event?
I think it's good. Those fans down there definitely deserve it. They spend their money, invest their time into the business and into the company. So I think it's good that they get to see the megastars. Let them go see the Undertakers. I mean, it's not like they get a show every week as the United States does, and it's not like it's just that easy. From we can go from state to state. I'm not sure how easy it is to go in and out. Crossing the border, but I do know you need a passport. So they deserve it.
Well, um,
Hey,
and,
tell
and
me.
what you said, Mr. Main Event. I'm sorry, Brian Waters. You got to look at the Mexico crowd and them going down there and them pulling those stops out the same way you would look at the UK when they go into the UK. You know what I mean? Like you don't get to go over there. They go over there what once a year. They do, or they over there for a week once a year, but that's all they get. So when you're going to Mexico, we know that the Mexican fan base down there likes to spend their money. They want to take care of every territory they can. So why not pull out all the stars to bring out the Undertaker and Jericho? Heck, if anything else, I'm just jealous they get to see the Undertaker and he's not up here in no house shows anything like that we could possibly go see here in the States. But heck, let him do it. If he wants to work, he wants to get in shape. He's trying to get that big push. We all hope for WrestleMania 33. Then let him. As far as I'm concerned, Amber.
Yeah, I think it's really cool what he's doing, and a lot of times they do things like that. Like they'll bring in a bigger name to something that they're doing to draw attention to it. Like when they had Undertaker on Superstars years ago. It's something they're doing just to bring attention to the house shows in Mexico. But yeah, I think it's a cool thing what he's doing, and why not?
Like I said, it's a good thing, good drawing money, good tourist attraction, and that's what WWE is all about. Another major news story coming out from WWE land this week was the story of Jasmine Ariba, a young WNXT star who recently signed with WWE, who allegedly said some racist comments this week about African Americans using the N word. Come to find out, WWE has found out and investigated that her Twitter at the age of 16 was hacked and still, so there will not be any repercussions behind her. My question to you guys: should have this been a major story anyway? The young girl was 16 years old. I mean, is this really a story that WWE should have talked about, or people who dug it up really mentioned it?
Let's be honest here. First off, it wasn't hacked. I'm sure she said those things when she was 16, and they found it, and they're trying to save face, because I'm sure they feel like, oh, fans are going to see this, and they're going to have some questions, especially with Hulk Hogan dropping the N-bomb. It's like the N-word's going around everywhere now. But I feel like they're just trying to save face. But in her defense, she was 16. I mean, I started training when I was like 14 or 15. I'm sure if you go through my Facebook, you're going to find some, dumb stuff I said when I was that age. I don't think it's that big of a deal. She was a kid just tweeting, so I don't think it's that serious.
Well, the way I look at it is this. Everybody knows, I've been very vocal about being on Team Hogan still. The fact that I feel like everybody deserves a second chance, especially when things are years ago. People have the tendency to change, and they. For whatever reason, Mike, and you the one with your thumb down. Come on now, should you and I really be talking? If things didn't change, we would be doing this show right now. Let's just call it is what it is, brother. you know, um, but certainly I've made a lot of changes in my life, and like Amber said, she was 16. She's a mature adult, we like to think now. And I think just because it was the first strike, and let's be real, let's really be real. Glenn said it, I believe he said it last week. If it, not last week, right here on this program, he said it before in this program. The only reason why Seth Rollins' playmate was fired was really because it was another strike after those pictures had leaked. Had
Mhm.
the just
Right.
the it been just the comments, I don't think she would have been fired because it would have been the same thing, same face.
Right.
But Jazz was somebody younger. She's groomable. She has, if I'm not mistaken, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe she's Middle Eastern. From based on what the tweets I saw, so that's a different market. They're seeing dollar signs down the line.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
And like I said, 16 years old, we made mistakes. If you go through I didn't have Twitter and Facebook when I was 16. I'm a little bit older than some of you guys, but we didn't have that. But if
I
you go
had
through a lot
black
of things, we
friends.
said a lot of things. A lot of people don't. She didn't understand. She's from another country, so what she said and what she used is where it's at. WWE see the dollar signs in her. Look, this really wouldn't even be a story if you never had the Hulk Hogan story. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
If Hulk Hogan had never did what he did and said what he said, this right here wouldn't even be a story. It'd be brushed underneath the rug. I think a lot of people out there now looking, going back to people's Twitter accounts and going way, way back, trying to find something just to make a story out of anything. And when you say WWE attached to it, it makes it look like a big story, so they can get clicks and likes and views and whatnot. So I mean, this young girl that haven't even been on TV yet. You know what I'm saying? People don't even know who she is. You had to really had to go find her to find out who she was. So, hey, my thing is just let it ride. If it happens again, she didn't learn her lesson, and she deserves to get whatever repercussions she get from WWE. But this happened before she even joined the company. That's like firing me, because I joined this company and you found out back in the day. Shoot, we had a president that used to smoke weed. So guess what?
Never inhaled.
You tell me one person that smoked weed that never inhaled.
I don't
Besides,
know. I don't know. I just wanted to say that. That's what he said. He didn't have a lie detector test, and hey, she was 16. Again, as Brian said, God knows when I was 16, I was doing all kind of things I shouldn't have had no business doing, and so forth like that. But I think the situation is different than the Hogan situation completely, though, because she still is young, and for what it's worth, I'm a man. I'm 40. Let's be honest. Let's be real. Follow me on Twitter with 3 X's because I'm hardcore. Certain people at certain ages don't change. Okay, and I think it's a completely different situation, separate. So I think we should keep them separate from that situation, in my opinion. But again, she was 16. She's still young, and I mean, come on, we got what's that guy's name, Slim Jesus, out there saying all kind of stuff. I mean, that's the world we live in nowadays. So what you say on social network will come back to haunt you. That's why I tell my family members, be careful what you post because you might want to get a job one day.
Speaking of social networks, I know that we are right now. I know we're doing a wrestling show, but we are affiliated with Fox Sports 1340. Therefore, I have to break this news, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, Terrell Suggs is out for the season. He has tore his Achilles in the game against the Denver Broncos. Terrell
Wow.
Suggs is out for the season.
wow.
Wow.
Back to our
Sorry.
regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, former defensive player of the year is out. That's a huge blow to the Baltimore Ravens. I guess you won't take cheap shots on Sam Bradford anymore. Karma's a
Well, no, you know what? It's Amber's fault because I'm pretty sure Friday night
Amber's
Amber did
fault.
not have a Ravens jersey on during the rally in the alley at MCW.
It was Amber's fault. Wow, that's so dirty.
Where their jersey.
real.
What?
That was dirty. Just blame it on her.
Blame it on her.
Next.
We're talking about we shifting gears, not we're staying in the same realm, but we're talking about Hulk Hogan earlier. We talking about the racist comments. Hulk Hogan is now taking bookings again. He has been booked for a show in the UK. Not only is he taking bookings again, but fanpicks.com, which is a site just like DraftKings and FanDuel's, Hulk Hogan is the spokesperson for their company right now. It's only been about a month since Hulk Hogan is released from WWE. Hulk Hogan's incident. has things blown over that quickly that people are just really ready quick to forgive Hulk Hogan and able to promote him again, or is his agents and everybody doing a great job getting Hulk Hogan? Out to the public. He was on Good Morning America last week. We talked about apologizing to the fans. And Mike, you know what I do? I want to apologize to you because last week I think I got on you a little bit when you said you didn't agree with Hulk Hogan's apology, but I heard the apology. Yeah, brother. In 1950, you and your boys were not saying the N-word like it was cool.
Thank you.
No.
But and what you're saying now is the product. Again, I'm not going to sit here and act as if I'm above anything. Okay, I will always love Hulk Hogan. There was Dusty Rhodes, there was Hulk Hogan for me as a child. That's what it is. However, it hurt me to the core. As you know, in a way, when I lost Dusty, I felt like I lost Hogan without him physically being gone from this planet, you know, with the comments that he said, because it directly affected me. So, but the world we live in, they think it's cool. I play Xbox quite often with, you know, white friends. They say, well, I got black friends and it's always going to be cool to say it. No, I am 40 years old. I remember my mother. I remember my grandmother. I used to go to my grandmother while she cleaned the white man's house for a living on the bus, taking her grandson with her. So there's certain words will never be accepted. Okay, so for me, this is the world we live in. People gonna get bookings. He got to get paid. People don't care anymore. Only we care, and it's only a handful of us that actually care that what he said and won't forgive him. So at the end of the day, he gonna get paid. It's the world. He's Hulk Hogan. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still professional wrestling. Brian.
Well, I think it's good that he's getting bookings. One thing this shows you that for every one person that did not like, that has turned it back on him, or feel like he's turning it back on them, or whatever you want to, whichever way you want to word it, there's two people that still support him, and we knew this was gonna come. I think it's good, you know, because let's be real, that's the only way that man has made money is because of his professional wrestling name. You know, it's not like he's the most business savvy person. When he was booking the company, we saw what happened 2 times.
Twice.
But again, that was professional wrestling. So, Amber, your thoughts?
I mean, you know, it's unfortunate, but I feel like nothing stays a big deal for too long, if that makes sense. So it's like,
Perfect sense.
Of course he's gonna, you know, of course people are gonna forgive him, and you know, the whole thing's gonna get swept under the rug. I mean, people can be offended as long as they want, but that's not gonna really affect his career. I mean, I was offended. My daddy marched, you know, and he didn't march for, you know, situations like this. And it sucks. But, I mean, like I said, you know, at the end of the day, people are still going to hand him checks.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. In the world of professional wrestling, the bottom line or the main color is green.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care who you are and what you are, Hulk Hogan brings green. Even though he may charge you $40,000 to appear somewhere, he's still gonna bring that money. I remember WrestleCon in New York. You know, there was a line from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. People lined up to pay $250 to see Hulk Hogan.
You was telling me that.
And sign an autograph.
There was, and you couldn't go to the bath. Like I was going to go to the bathroom, and they stopped me, and I just thought it was a long line inside. And the guy said no. And next thing I know, I look up, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Hulk Hogan. So yeah, he's that big of a deal.
He's that big of a deal. He's that big of a draw, and he's gonna make money. So we let's be honest. We all know it's gonna be a matter of time before WWE bring Hulk Hogan back and rehash Hulk Hogan. I dare to say he may be back before WrestleMania 32.
Watch your mind.
Because that's one of the biggest things that's going to happen in the year 2016. And I'm sure Hulk Hogan, in some way, some shape or form, will wiggle his way back into the WWE prior to WrestleMania 32. We months away from it, and I believe it will happen this year. You know, and will I be mad at the WWE for doing so? No, not really. Will I mad at Hulk Hogan? Nah. Was I disappointed? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in Santa Claus nor the Tooth Fairy. You know, I was disappointed when I found
out. Santa Claus is real.
I found out when it was.
You better leave Santa out of this.
As I tell my kids, I work too hard to give some guy in a red suit with some black pants and some red pants.
There you go. There you go.
Some credit for what I've done. Sorry.
There could be kids watching.
Sorry, whatever your parents tell you is true.
My mother paid Santa Claus, so all her money, hard work went into it. So
she paid Santa to bring the gifts. That's right.
My apologies.
And I had breakfast with Santa at least a dozen times. I wouldn't see Hulk Hogan. I mean, He-Man and She-Ra movie. I thought He-Man and She-Ra were real. All right, I didn't, but still, go ahead.
You saw Mick Foley dressed up anyway. Man. Also, deal online of old wrestlers who are coming back or making a comeback. Kurt Angle announced this week, along with TNA, announced this week that he's coming back for their Bound for Glory pay-per-view. Mike, I see you shaking your head, but I'm gonna start with Amber on this one because I know yours probably be pretty long. Amber, your thoughts on Kurt Angle coming back after his injury, and not only coming back, but coming back to TNA instead of going back to WWE?
Well, I mean, I've always been a fan of his, so I mean, more power to him. You know, if he wants to keep doing this, you know, and he has plenty of fans, so if he wants to keep doing this and keep, you know, then, you know, why not? Why shame him for it? You know, as far as TNA over WWE, I mean, yeah, everyone knows WWE is, you know, like the biggest, you know, of them all, but he's still on TV. You know what I mean? If you know, people are dedicated to watching him, they're going to watch him. So I don't have anything negative to say about it.
Let's go, Brian.
Oh man, I'm just the one that's still sitting here waiting for Kurt Angle to come back
He's talking about
to
you
the
right now.
WWE and face. You know who? You know it wouldn't be a show if I don't get my annual Daniel Bryan reference in. That is money right there. I guarantee you can book and you will sell out Jerry's World with Kurt Angle versus Daniel Bryan, just like you can with Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan. But other than that, you know, I mean, I hope he takes it easy. You know, Kurt Angle's he's great, but we are starting to slowly but surely see his career come to a close, and I just want him to have that curtain call that he deserves, that one last match in the WWE.
You know what? I'm not going to be that long. So you know, whatever to you. You know, in the words of my wife, shout out to my wife. She's sitting in here with us today, listening to the program, wearing her Peyton Manning jersey as hashtag Peyton Manning always covers.
No, Peyton Manning did get sick
no,
a few
he did.
times.
Hold on. Technically, Peyton Manning covered, even though technically Peyton Manning didn't do nothing. Okay,
Exactly.
in that ball game. But wrestling aged Kurt Angle so bad, you know. And as much as I want to see him in WWE, I'd have been happy with seeing him just retire. The injuries that he's had, you know, the all the things, the rash of serious things in his life that's gone on. I'm one of them guys, so I don't like when those guys say one more match and you know, all those kind of things. I'm not afraid to let the love of wrestlers that I've had go on and go away and don't have to come back. And although I really want to see Kurt Angle one more time in WWE because I believe that has to be the final curtain call, as we call it, but I'm either here or there with it. If he's happy, if he's safe, then hey, okay. But I don't need to see Kurt Angle wrestling anymore. He's proven to me that, you know, although for me he's fallen out the top 10 because he's been in Impact Wrestling for so long, but so because of that. But if you go to his matches, he will always be a top 5, top 10 guy inside that square circle. So whatever Kurtz wants to do, may God be with him and he do it. Glenn.
You know, my thing is, I like to see. I'm on the same line as some of you guys. Kurt Angle was, you know, since the amateur background, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed Kurt Angle in the ring. I think he has great skill and charisma. And when I had the opportunity to interview Kurt Angle, he was, you know, so nice and professional. I don't want to see him end his career in TNA. Nothing against TNA, and I say it all the time. I have a lot of friends in TNA. A lot of people I connect with, a lot of people I talk to, a lot of people I deal with. I think just like the Dudley Boys who made their way back to WWE, there's some people I need to see their career in the WWE. I think the Hardy Boys.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to say I don't think it's going to end at TNA. I think he's just back for now, but I think when it's his time to go, I don't think it's going to end there. I think he would end that at WWE. I think something like that, it would be done right, but for him just coming back, you know, I think, you know, it's whatever that is at TNA, but, you know.
Well, Amber, is it a new contract or is he within the same contract? I know TNA contracts aren't as long or as vigorous as the WWE's. What kind of contract is it? Is he just back for 1 or 2 shows, or is he back, you know, a year or 2? Do we know?
He's back for 1 or 2 shows.
Sure.
He's back for 1 or 2 shows. He has to finish his contract out. Remember, he just got a renewed contract last year, and it wasn't for a year. It was less than like 7-8 months ago prior to him getting hurt. Plus, we all know Bound for Glory is supposed to be the last thing TNA does this year. So that's one of the last shows. And my thing is, I hate for that guy who comes back and his last show be Bound for Glory and something happens where he can't make it back to the WWE. I love to see him in TNA. I love to see Kurt Angle wrestle him. The battles that he had with Samoa Joe in TNA really helped Samoa Joe become who Samoa Joe is because he wrestled with Kurt Angle. He's just that good of an athlete and talent. I mean, all the guys said it. He's one of the guys who picked up wrestling quicker than anybody else that they have seen. So I like to see him back. I just don't want him. If it's his curtain call and Bound for Glory, let it be his curtain. I mean, at TNA, if it's Bound for Glory, let it be that. Go heal up and maybe get a small run in the WWE to close things out, along with anybody else like the Hardy Boys or Matt and Jeff Hardy. And what other person I would love to see in WWE is EC3. I know that's a different topic, but I think he's done what he needed to do to make it to the next level in there. And not only that, I like to see Jade, to get a run somewhere in NXT because I think she fit with the female wrestlers that are going on right now. So.
Amber, you shook your head over there about EC3. I dropped the ball on him. I became a big fan. What's your opinion on him? Let me clear my throat.
What's the next topic? I don't have a problem with him. I don't know. I just can't really see him making waves in the E. I don't know. I think he's fine where he is. Like I don't see him being a big deal
over there. I got you.
I agree. The wrestling still leaves a lot to be desired. The character is great.
Well, we're talking about a character-driven company, though.
Yeah, but
and I'm a guy who loves. I can't, Brian. I can't stand when guys from NXT go to WWE. I mean, to the next level, because sometimes I think it just
right. But I don't think he's better than Dolph Ziggler. You know how I feel about Ziggler. I mean, I don't think Ziggler's the worst.
Why we gotta get a Hill Ziggler disrespect comment from you every week too? What's up with that?
Because it's so easy. It's so easy to do.
I don't think he's going to the main.
Easy to do.
He came over. Definitely, they're gonna send him straight to NXT. He wouldn't go from TNA to the main roster. He'll go to NXT to develop on his skills.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's where he was before, though, right? And down in Florida Championship Wrestling.
Yeah,
that's in NXT. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, you do have a point there. There are some of the guys who are just like him. Tyler Breeze and some other guys.
Tyler Breeze deserves to be on the next level. I'm sorry.
Tyler Breeze,
I love Tyler Breeze. I just don't think, again, I'm not a big fan, and I'm not afraid to say it, of the next level crowd, because some guys don't beat us. They don't know everything. They looking for, again, I know everybody here may not be, and I don't know Amber's thought on this, on the Ascension. The Ascension was beloved in NXT. And they get to WWE, and all of a sudden, okay, they put on stupid paint. I get that, okay? But the words that were coming out of their mouths were the exact same words that were coming out of their mouth on NXT. But everybody says, oh, they're talking about Demolition. They're talking about the Road Warriors. They were in NXT for 3 years, and no one said a word.
Well, Tyler Breeze, I would love to see him go to the next level. You know why? Because then you can get rid of Heel Ziggler.
There you go.
I mean, he has selfie sticks.
I think it's unfortunate when guys in NXT or women in NXT is getting good reactions, then they come to the main roster and kind of drop the ball. I think it's really unfortunate. But Tyler Breeze, I think he'll do fine, and it's kind of a cheap leg here. But my brother Chuck Lennox actually had a dark match with him recently. And they got a really good reaction. So
awesome.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Speaking of,
that's the next big thing. You heard it here. I stole that from you, Amber. I know you wanted to say it. That's your brother. Watch him be on WWE and NXT.
Yeah.
Yo,
she wanted to be humble, but I just sort of said it. Chuck Lennox is the man.
He is. Yo, he's definitely the man. Definitely the man. Enjoy his stuff in MCW. For those who are watching, you got to check out MarylandChampionshipWrestling.com or MCWWrestling.com. Check it out. Please check it out. Black Wall Street is the thing in Maryland Championship Wrestling. We talked about NXT. This been announced, and maybe I wish the Wizard were here, and I did research. I don't think it's ever been. We have a 30-minute women's Iron.
Yeah, you don't need him for that one. No, it's never been done before with females.
Oh, Mike got it right, boy. Mike got to answer this. We put Mike.
They said it multiple times that it's never been done before.
It's never been done. Never been done before. But we have a 30-minute.
It's called Google. It's called Google. She's never wrong. Okay.
Never wrong. Hey, Iron Woman match coming up with Bailey and Sasha Banks. I'm gonna start with Amber here. What do you think about this 30-minute Iron Woman match? On NXT pay-per-view, or I don't want to call it pay-per-view special.
I think they deserve it. Their matches have been amazing, and this is innovative. This is really innovative. I'm very proud to see women's wrestling coming along so far. That's pretty much it. Like I said, they deserve it, and I think it's going to be great. And I'd like to see more of things like this. To a point where it's not like, oh my gosh, it's never been done before. Oh my gosh, women, doing Iron Man matches and blah blah blah. Like, hopefully one day it'll be normal. You know what I mean? Like, it'll just be another match. So.
Right. But I'm gonna jump in here, Mike. We said it's never been done, but there have been women who wrestle for 30 minutes. The match has just not been called an Iron Women's match. You know what I'm saying?
We're talking about the concept of wrestling. It is storyline hashtag.
Yeah, it's storyline hashtag. But I'm saying you got Bull Nakano and Alundra Blaze who've done it many times.
They did go for a minute. You're absolutely right.
In Japan, so it just has never been done in the WWE or is being quote unquote NXT, which is called Iron Woman match, because when you think of this match, you think of Shawn Michaels, you think of Bret Hart, you think of those, and now it's getting ready to be done. I'll give you your point, but I have another question on this. I'll let you go ahead and your thoughts on this.
I think Brian stepped away. He said the picture.
Oh, you said me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he said Mike. Yeah. Here's the thing. I've said this time and time again. People don't like when I say it. Some people do. Sasha Banks is legit. She, in my opinion, not once but twice was a part of matches that did the main event. Now, I will say this with bias. I'm a huge fan of women's wrestling, but she outdid the main event on the past 2 takeovers. So actually, you know what? I'll even say 3 because it was her match with Bailey, her match with Becky Lynch, and the matches that she was in with the 4-way when she won the belt. So with that being said, she deserves this. But let's not take away anything from Bailey either. One thing that's the attempt not to take away from Bailey, but the thing about Sasha is that she's gone out there and helped her opponents get to the next level. Bailey's character was already there, but the confidence, you've seen her evolve in the ring. She went from just being a hugger to somebody that's like, okay, this girl can actually work. And, this is going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to it.
First, let me just applaud both of you and Amber's comments, and also drum roll, please, because I don't ever get to say I said things first, right? At WrestleMania 33, you will see a females ladder match.
Ooh.
You're going to see a ladder match. Because, like Amber just said, there's certain things we got to a certain level where it has to stop being the first. My only thing about this is, I'm a huge Sasha Banks mark out there. But I say 2 of those 3 matches, Brian, definitely the one with her and Bailey at TakeOver and the Fatal 4-Way match, for me anyway. But I love it. I think they deserve to do it. My thing is this: I want male wrestling fans to be cognizant of the fact that they are women. So at the end of the day, I have 2 daughters, and I'm married to a beautiful wife. There are certain things these women cannot do, and sometimes I get scared watching them do it. Okay, and that's just me being a man who loves women, and there's certain things I just wish they just kind of, you don't have to do that every week for me to prove your point to me. You've already proven your point to me that you guys deserve to be there, and you handle yourself very well. I love the stuff that Sasha and all them do behind the scenes on their Instagrams and their, and things like that. WWE may catch up to the stuff that Sasha does with the New Day. So I'm all in for this match. Just do me a favor. You know me, Brian. I'll never stop going with the fans. And you even jumped in on this one this past week. Leave the stupid memes alone. Putting her face on Shawn Michaels' hairy chest was disrespectful. Okay, I don't need to see that. That's Sasha Banks. Ain't funny to me. I get the concept. I'm not dumb. I understand. I gotta take off this stupid hat. I got a sense of humor. That just wasn't funny.
She did it when she retweeted it. That solidified it. I thought that was pretty cool. That shows, homage. That's how highly they think of her. So
It does. Mike, you said something that they women first, but understand they're still athletes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not taking nothing away from them. Okay, that doesn't mean that I want to see Brittany Griner dunk. No matter what, female basketball will never be where it is because they don't dunk the basketball. It's not because they're not great athletes. I'm not dissing them as athletes. I'm just saying, as a man who loves women, I don't need to see her flip over the ropes when she almost misses and she bangs her head out. I'm sorry, that scares me.
But I don't need to see. But that's her choice, though. I mean, at the point in the ring, that's
so is abortion. It's choice, right? So
right. Yeah, but this is not a political. This is not the political show for that. You know, but you know that's a choice. It's a choice. But if she wants to put on that type of match, let put on that type of match. What do you think you'll see in this Iron Man match? You're gonna see all the stops. You know what I'm saying? We were just complaining when Beth Phoenix came in the ladder match years ago and tried to climb up and get the IC title. You know what I'm saying? That's what she did. We didn't say nothing when Chyna beat Jeff Jarrett for the IC title. They was in the matches. I'm
sorry. I don't say you compare neither one of those two divas, beautiful in their own right, okay, to what these girls have been doing lately. These girls have taken it way far and beyond anything any other female I've ever witnessed, put it like that, I've ever seen on television do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they can't do it. Obviously they can do it. I'm just saying when I watch it, it scares me. And I can't remember last time my wife was up off her butt at all watching anything to deal with females. She couldn't stand the HLA era. She couldn't stand this live sex era. But that weekend at SummerSlam, she was up like this in amazement. I'm just saying, for me, it was scary. That's all.
I'm not saying they're not scary. Yes, have they done too much to try to get it over? Yes, they have. But that's their part of their wrestling list. That's what they want to do.
Well,
one thing I wanted to get you on. You said ladder match in WrestleMania 33. You mean they're gonna skip a year? You won't happen at 32?
Well, you know what I meant. That's what you're supposed to see. You just had to say something smart. Go ahead, Brian. Don't pay him.
No, I just like to hear Amber's thoughts on it. Your points you made, Mike.
Do you think they're doing too much? You know, by putting their body on the line in the ring as females.
It's not. It's wrestling. It's professional wrestling. It's not ballet. Like, whenever you step between the ropes, you're putting your life on the line. Period. There's been countless in-ring deaths. Like, I mean, it's not doing too much. They're wrestling. They're putting on, like, any match. It could be a 30-minute Iron Man match. It could be a 5-minute match. Anything can happen. You know, it's not that they're doing too much. You know, as long as they're in there, they're, you know, wrestling, they're putting on, you know, a good match, they're telling a story, they're entertaining the fans, you know, just like the men do. You know, that's all it is. I don't think it's doing too much. I think death matches are too much.
Absolutely.
And, you know, women who put skewers in their head, that's too much. But wrestling is what we do. It's normal.
I'm not when I say that, okay, and let me first and foremost, and I'm glad, you know, Brian always, you know, tries to, you know, make sure certain things. What I'm saying is this: they have, to me, wrestling is storyline, and you can do a lot inside the square circle to tell the story and to still prove how great you are. So for me, I don't need them going over the ropes as much every show, going through the ropes and stuff, because lately when I've witnessed them do it. Okay, from Nikki Bella to Brie Bella to Mae Min Young herself and Naomi and every other diva that's out in there, I've always seen some sort of a, I don't want to use the word botch, but a mistake that happened. Okay, where they wasn't grabbed properly, and it's not because it's like when you go back and you're in the wrestling business, sometimes you put, it's like a trust fall, right? Every time you wrestle, it's a trust fall. You have to trust your opponent. Sometimes I just think the momentum, or whatever it is, they slippery, their hair, whatever you want to call it, I see mistakes happen, and I just don't want to see nothing bad happen to the ladies.
If it were men, would you have the same opinion? Would you be as scared or as worried?
I've seen them do it longer, so it's I guess it's a catch-22, because sometimes I do see certain guys do things, and I go, what are you doing? You know what I mean? When I've seen them make the mistake too much. And then there's other guys like Aaron Neville who I've not seen him make a mistake yet. That's all.
You sound like a concerned dad.
I just sound like a concerned dad. That's how I feel when I watch him.
Because you're talking about a guy like Neville, and then you're thinking about, like, Sasha Banks. Like, these are two different people, two different styles. Right. You know, you can't really compare them. I feel like, you know, you should, if you're going to be worried about, you know, a spot getting botched, be worried about anybody botching a spot, not just a woman, because, you know, and like you said, as far as experience, you know, there could be a woman who's been wrestling for 20 years, you know, and a guy who's only wrestled for 5, and, you know, any spot can be botched, really.
Absolutely.
You know.
Definitely that, and like I said, they're athletes. I think if they're athletes when they're designing their match and putting it together, and they want to go ahead and steal the show, as we like to say. And sometimes stealing the show, you got to put on the best match, and sometimes you pull out all the stops to steal the show.
I will say this as part of this breaking the Diva Revolution. Um, we will see next year at the Slammy Awards one of these matches be match of the year. It definitely will be nominated, but I think they're going to push that envelope a little bit more and give them match of the year, and something that's taking place already amongst the ladies of the WWE and NXT division.
Yeah, I think they'll be nominated, but I don't definitely think right now they won't get it because you still have John Cena, Kevin Owens that's out there. You have Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins match, insert name here. Seth Rollins Cena from SummerSlam.
It's an insert name. Randy Orton at WrestleMania gets no credit how great that match was to me.
No, he gets no credit. And no credit whatsoever. You get Seth Rollins winning the title. So you got you do different things that's there. Yeah, but I think they'll get nominated. I don't think they'll win it. They'll definitely get nominated.
I feel like the main point is, or at least the goal is, it's not really about the best match or whatever. The point is about women's wrestling, women's wrestlers getting respect, getting the respect that they deserve from men, from the men's wrestlers, from male fans. It's about them getting the respect that, it's an equal opportunity sport, being a woman and, working in a man's business, it's enough pressure with that alone. And we deserve the respect for, getting out there and entertaining just as good as the men. And so, even if it's nominated and it doesn't win, like you said, that's fine. Just the fact that it was nominated means that we're getting that respect. So.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree with you. I think women wrestling this year has gotten more respect in the past years. It was about a good 7-8 year period where women wrestling was almost extinct. There was that match that would go out there for 2 minutes and 3 minutes. You go back to, we had Lita and Trish, and everybody want to go back to that. We forget about the little Beth Phoenix era that she had, and the Michelle McCool era that she had with Layla, which was okay. It's Lay Cool, that's when the Divas division was kind of okay. They held it down. They held it down for Lita and Trish to be gone. And then when you have Beth Phoenix retire, you had the Bella Twins leave and then come back, and you have Michelle McCool and Maurice leave, and Kelly and all other top names.
I wouldn't count, a few of them, but yeah.
Yeah, a few of them, leave, and now you regroup it, and now you're regrouping what true wrestling fans want to see, not divas, but for professional wrestling women, and I think that's where is that. People want to be professional wrestling women, not divas.
Well, just look at it. Like some of our favorites are getting signed. Look, Kana, Kana, the international superstar, megastar, getting signed to the WWE. Athena getting signed to the WWE. It was just, I remember when Jessie K, who's now Billy Kay, is now in the WWE. So,
Billy Kay? Billy Kay? Is that what it is now?
Yeah, McKay. I'm sorry, Jessie McKay. She's now Billy McKay or Billy Kay. Yeah, but she, we went from, like they said, Layla, when she retired, Crystal Marshall put it out there, like, shout out to Layla. She opened the door for models to get into the business. That was cool for them, but, a lot of us wrestling fans didn't really, it's not that we hated it because they were nice to look at, but it's like now we're more appreciative of what we're getting, and that's the actual ones who appreciate the sport from the time that they were born, like Amber, like you, somebody who actually studied the sport since you were a toddler and adolescence, and now becoming a part of the sport. That's what everybody wanted to see. It's good to see.
And I don't have judgment on women who, just kind of stumbled upon it or just kind of came into it, or if they were like models or whatever. I don't pass judgment as long as if you study up on it at least, and if you research what you're doing, if you can at least develop a passion for it, you can be a model coming in, but, if you study, the history of it, if you look at guys like Pat O'Connor, Buddy Rogers, and, you know your stuff and you study your job,
Definitely. Definitely, I mean, I totally agree. You got people like Sasha who study. He mentioned many times that she studies her matches, and she loved Eddie Guerrero and watched some of the classic matches that he has done. You mentioned Kana, which WWE quickly changed her name, quickly. And the reason I say that because you Google Kana, a lot of things come up that are not PG.
Right.
So her name was quickly changed there. And you got a lot of different wrestlers who are coming in, and they're bringing more women wrestlers in, and I think that's what's needed. And nothing against the models, some of those carried over into today's time. And I think fans are appreciating the art of women, and women are doing great things. We had women who became Army Rangers in the last couple months. First two women to ever go through the Army Rangers training course, and nothing was cut. So I think they have the ability to do so, and it's transitioning into the wrestling world. Fina, who have been on our show several times, Wrestling Marks of Excellence, which you can hear every Thursday night on Fox Sports Radio, 1340 a.m. A cheap plug out there. Who does the Stone Cold Stunner from the top rope? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, face.
Old face, which is pretty cool. We had her at WrestleCon as well, hanging out with us for a minute there, at WrestleMania 29. But I love to see those, and I'm a have indie blood in my heart to love to see female wrestlers who come up from the indies make it to the next level because
Like
you
I said,
work.
when you got guys like me who has been very critical of female wrestling beginning to turn my head, I think the respect factor is starting to come. Brian, I tell you guys firsthand, and if I'm not mistaken, Brian, isn't Athena? And I thought when I seen the picture, because I'm not the biggest indie guy, I try my best, but wasn't she the one that we were out there at the Yokozuna 10 years gone, never forgotten? That's not her.
That was Naya.
Okay. I thought that was her. I know she looks familiar, so it must have been. I must have seen her on Wrestling Marks Excellent or somewhere along those lines. But like I said, at the Global Force Wrestling event, to me that was one of the best matches. So I love what female wrestling is doing, and that the fact that WWE is getting rid of or phase. I said it before. I don't think they're phasing them out. I think they're making a place for them to be valets where model type women wrestlers should be, and then make a place for female wrestlers so they can also shine as well. So
Definitely. Hey, with that being said, let's give our closing thoughts for the night. We're gonna start with Amber. Your closing thoughts for the night, and thank you for joining us here, your first night with the Wrestling Summit. We appreciate having a female coming from a female perspective. Your closing thoughts for this week in the world of professional wrestling.
I hate going first.
Ooh, ladies first, ladies first.
like I was saying earlier, I'm happy to see that women's wrestling's getting its respect finally, and I don't know. I pretty much said all that I wanted to say. Follow me on Instagram at Healthy Evil Queen, Facebook Amber Rodriguez, Twitter at Amber Rodriguez 9.
All right. Let's go with you, Mike. Your closing thoughts.
It's been a great week on the Soul and Sports. As you can catch us each and every single day, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 on Fox Sports 1340 AM. Wrestling this week. Wrestling fans, please bear with me because tomorrow, as we continue through this football week, it's been great. So I will catch wrestling on the DVR. So as my Philadelphia Eagles try to do something that they've done 4 out of the last 5 Monday Night Football games, opening up with a win. So just continue to support the Wrestling Summit, continue to support Fox 1340 AM, and continue to support me. Without you guys, I couldn't be here. And, me. Don't wake up tomorrow morning and say you love yourself from you without looking upstairs and thanking God for it first. Glenn?
Yo, Brian, your closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts, man. What a week. Getting ready as we get ready for, we ain't mentioned on it today, but Sting, the winner, WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, I said it. That's what I want to see. But closing thoughts. Yesterday I had the opportunity to attend the first WSU and CZW show. Shout out to Cherry Bomb who broke her collarbone in a match yesterday.
I just watched her.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. So prayers go out to her. She finished the match and did retain her WSU title, but she's gonna be out sometime. So shout out to her and shout out to as always the girls who out there putting on amazing matches. So just looking forward to tomorrow night on Raw. I believe this is the go home show, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And of course, Cowboys Nation, Dez caught it.
Wow. Yo, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Wrestling Summit. My thought for the week is this: enjoy professional wrestling for what it is. Whether you enjoy the women wrestlers, whether you enjoy the men wrestlers, whether you enjoy the midgets, and whether you enjoy the indies, or whether you enjoy WWE and TV as well. Professional wrestling is here to stay and has rejuvenated and revived in 2015. It's where it's at right now. It has nothing else but to go up. Whether TNA stays around or not, Ring of Honor is still there. You have Lucha Underground, which is still out there. So wrestling right now is at one of the high points, or getting to the high point where it's at. There's a lot of options out there. Go check out Maryland Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, I just wanted to say they have a show Saturday in Southern Maryland at the Hollywood Fire Department in Hollywood, Maryland. Starts at 8 o'clock. Mickey James will be there. Jake the Snake will be there. So just wanted to plug that.
Yeah, definitely check it out. You definitely enjoy their shows. Indies is where it's at. You get to see people, as Dr. D would say, at humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? As they move to another level. Shout out to my man Champ Creed, who's enjoying himself tonight. The Wizard nephew Corey's always winning fantasy football where they're at. Hey, listen to us each and every week on Fox Sports Radio 1340 AM. Come back and join us next week here on YouTube, as well as Fox Sports Radio 1340am.com, the new home of the Wrestling Summit. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Raw tomorrow night. Looking for big things because Monday Night Raw is up against the NFL, and Vince really wants those ratings. So, ladies and gentlemen, go Falcons. Good night.
What a joke!
Peace.
Peace.